Hey DJ Wonder, this is Boy George. I think this club needs some culture. I bet some girls will tumble for you if you play one of my songs.
Good morning, Shade 45. Wow, our next guest is actually here. We threw it out in the universe, Heather B, and I guess you could will things to happen.
Absolutely.
You know, when I think of this next guest, having watched this just amazing career of his, he's faced a lot of adversity, but he's had a lot of success, and you know, through a few documentaries, we found out all about his upbringing and where he grew up and his parents and his plight, and you know, and he's in such a great place right now. This is the one. This is the part of him I'm happy to meet. Boy George is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Hello.
So gorgeous, this man.
Yes. Well, I mean, yes, he's here. I can't say he's gorgeous.
You can say that, Sway. It's
I can say he's gorgeous. I can say that now, right? They passed the law. Boy George, welcome to Sway in the Morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This is a colorful room.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're like the melting pot here. This is truly what America is all about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's what I think.
Right. The diversity and all these great things. I remember when your music first came out, and we got a gander of you. Growing up in Oakland, California, I grew up in a kind of a disenfranchised environment, at least in my mind, in my world, and I was a hip hop fanatic, and you made music that cut through all of that, you know, and we found as hip hop guys singing come and feel me, and I'll tumble for you, and all this different, these different sounds and messages in your music that appealed across the board. Did you anticipate that?
Well, you know, I grew up in London, and it's a lot smaller than America. And, you know, I grew up listening to a lot of reggae music, a lot of soul music. We used to listen to bands from America, Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Stylistics, James Brown, all of that. So, you know, that's what influenced what we did musically. You know, so when we started making records, it was a mixture of, you know, all the things that we loved. And, you know, and also we didn't think of ourselves as proper musicians, so we didn't know the rules. Yeah. So we didn't know, you know, you weren't supposed to mix this with that. You weren't supposed to put that together. We just did what we felt. And even the band, you know, Culture Club, you know, because up until we got together, in England, if you were a black musician, you were in a soul band or you were in a reggae band, you know, you weren't in a rock band. There was a couple of people doing things like Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, who was a black guy doing rock, but it wasn't typical. But I think because we didn't know what the rules were, we just kind of put a band together with all the coolest people we knew, you know, and it ended up being this kind of cultural mix, which is why we ended up calling the band Culture Club, because I sort of looked at us and was like, well, we're everything. We're United Nations here, you know.
The look, though, what we saw as an image was just your everyday way of being, correct?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, what I wore in the band was kind of like a toned down version of what I was wearing to the clubs, you know. It was like, I mean, I was going out dressed as the Nun, you know, Carmen Miranda. I was doing it all. And when the band started, there was this kind of attempt to, you know, to kind of have a look, you know, because some of my favorite artists throughout history, you know, they're all people that had style, you know, Elvis Presley, James Brown, you know, all of those kind of characters, you know, Sly and the Family Stone, Sly Stone. I mean, look, the way he dressed was amazing. Yeah. So we tried to kind of, you know, get a look together that was, you know, that sort of made us look like a band, you know, like a uniform in a way.
Okay, it worked. It shocked us.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the first time we went on stage we did a gig in Long Island, I remember, because people had heard the record. And when we walked out on stage, I mean, I heard the audience gasp.
Yeah.
Because when they saw what I was like, that's them. I mean, people, it was so amazing because people were they didn't expect it at all. You know?
I want to ask you a question, though, then I'm going to let Heather and them jump in. There's this, I don't like the term anymore, blue-eyed soul, but I got it, though. It kind of made sense. There's, you know, when you think of Adele, you think of a Sam Smith, think of yourself. There are people that are coming from the UK, you know, white folks, that sing with so much passion and soul. Yeah. More so than a lot of black folks over here. Where does that come from? Is that from listening to the Stylistics and all? Where does that come from?
I think, you know, if you're, you know, when you're a kid, you know, you're just drawn to certain things. You know, I mean, my dad was a construction worker, so he would clear out houses and he would bring records back to our home. And it would be anything from, you know, early 30s jazz to, show tunes to whatever. And so I would always go through those records and find things that, struck a chord with me. So I was listening to, people like Bessie Smith, because I found those in those record collections, Sinatra, and then of course developed my own, musical taste. And that really, I think being a Gemini, I kind of just like everything from sort of Dolly Parton
Sway scared.
Sly Stone. I've got the very, very weird taste in music, but I just think there's good music and there's bad music.
Yeah.
And again, it's subjective, but I just like what I like, and I like my stars to be controversial, You look at an old Sly Stone interview, he was crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
He's still crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read, in fact, on the new Culture Club album, there's a song that we wrote about Sly Stone called Different Man. So I was reading an article where he was living in a van or something. He was living in a car. And one of the greatest things he said in this interview, he said, I regret many things, but I can't think of one right now.
Wow. As he was living in a van outside of his home or something. I remember that. I saw that documentary too.
Yeah. So I wrote a song called Different Man, which is it sounds like an old Sly Stone tune. He probably is going to come after me for royalties, but I don't mind.
You don't mind? Go ahead and pay him.
I want to go back a little bit to you said no rules, not knowing that there are any rules. And I'm just curious, you're in England and you're just watching and you're dreaming of being a star and wanting to come to the States. What was the first thing you said that you were going to do when you hit the United States? And did you do it?
I don't know if I did do it really because I didn't know anything. My idea of America was from like Kojak.
Oh, Kojak.
Kojak.
Damn.
Wow.
Telly Savalas.
Let me just, the funniest thing that ever happened when I first I went to New York first, but when I went to LA, I was in a limousine. It's the first time I'd ever been in a stretch limousine. So that was like mind blowing. We pulled up at the lights and in the next car was Kojak. I do not lie.
Wow.
And we were like, and the thing, even now when I come to America, like when I see a UPS van or I see like a yellow taxi, I still feel like I'm in a movie. Because coming from England, I'm so used to growing up with American TV shows and films. So everything just feels like a movie to me, even now, even though I've come here, so many times. And I think my idea of America was so wrong. I was like, wow, I watched John Waters films in the 70s, so I thought everybody was crazy like that. And, and there are some people like that in New York, and I'm friends with them now. But I just didn't know what to expect. It was so overwhelming. I remember the first time I had breakfast in New York, I couldn't believe how much food there was.
On the plate?
No, just on the buffet.
On the
I was
buffet.
like, this is all free?
Yeah. Wow.
I can have all of this?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. But it just, when you're British, I suppose wherever you come from, another country is always more exciting and the grass is greener and, the buildings are bigger and it's more. America's just, it's an amazing place.
A lot of stimulants in America.
Yeah.
Tracy,
You know what I'm curious about?
Don't go into that, George. Not those kind of stimulants. No, just kidding.
Past tense.
Past tense, exactly.
George, you wear such an air of confidence, and it's like that when you walk into the studio. It's been like that for years. But at the end of the day, you're still immortal. And I'm wondering, have you ever had an insecurity that you had to overcome?
Oh my God, where do you want to start? I'm going to write a book about the things that I used to be insecure about. I think it's a weird thing. It's like when you're young and you should be on top of everything. That's the time when you really feel insecure. Am I pretty enough? Am I thin enough? Am I whatever it may be?
Right.
And I think if you're lucky, you get older and you kind of just get over it.
Yes.
You're like, you know what? I'm never going to be perfect, okay? I'm never going to be size 0. I'm always going to be a work in progress. And I think that's kind of what's happened to me. Trust me, the confidence is a big fake.
Do it well. All right.
You do it well. I do it a lot. But no, I think I am a bit more confident as an older man. When I was younger, people said, oh, you were so confident, but I was really insecure.
Really?
When I was at the top of my game, I was really, really faking it. I was super
Was it about
insecure.
appearance? What was it about?
Everything. One of the funny things, like sometimes you look back at old photos and you think, wow, I look good there. And then you remember how insecure you were, when you at that point where you thought, oh, I'm too fat or I got horrible hair. So I think you just got to get over yourself at a certain point and just go, you know what? This is who I am. And try and sort of, I eat healthy, I work out, I try to look after myself. That's all you can do. be a work in progress, basically.
Right.
Boy George is here. We're going to get to some new music. But first, we got to take them back. One of the songs that started it all.
Talk about it.
Sway in the Morning, Shade 45. Boy George is here, Culture Clash. There's a new album called...
Just call them the Clan.
No, he didn't.
I said Culture Clash. I said Culture Clubs, which was a clash of culture.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, you saw that? Come on.
Uh-oh. You're getting hot
I've been
now.
doing this for a minute, George. I've been doing this for a
We
minute.
did actually contemplate calling ourselves the Culture Clash, though. So
I knew that, and I read that.
You're psychic. He's psychic.
History.
I knew that. I read that. You got a new neighbor.
Yeah, Sam Smith is my new neighbor.
Yeah!
Wow.
I live in the Soul neighborhood.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all the white boys with soul live on the same block. Is that what it is? George Michael's over there?
George Michael's not far.
Really?
That's
Same
hilarious.
neighborhood, Sway.
He's a little bit further out, though. But I mean, Sam has actually moved into the same building.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a big Gothic house, and he's kind of around here. He's one over. So I can't quite see into the garden.
Uh-huh.
Plus, he's put these big fences out, so it's making it really difficult to kind of eavesdrop,
What is your house like, boy?
Gothic,
Like, what's
yeah.
going? You said this big Gothic house. I'm just thinking, wow, can we come there and eat and hang out and party?
Absolutely. Well, there's a great cribs. There's a great cribs of my house. I did a cribs years ago.
On MTV,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and it was funny, actually. Yeah, and they,
That's the same house? You had the same house?
I'm still there, yeah.
One of the few
Nice.
people who's still in their same cribs house. You know how cribs MTV used to do cribs.
And then they lose the house.
Right.
There you go.
That's the one thing I haven't done.
Just lose the house.
Good, man.
I've done lots of other things, but that I've kept the house.
Yeah, Boy George Michael,
Sam
Sam Smith, white guys with a lot of soul, and all three are gay. Is that like a common? What,
Like the three.
I'm not
right?
gay.
You're not gay? Oh, okay.
Lies.
2 out of 3, all right? Need some common thing there. All right, so now you become a world-renowned DJ as well.
Well, I've been DJing since the 80s, and actually in the 70s I DJed as well. And there's some really hilarious photos of me online in full drag, like DJing when there were no mixers. There was no mixers, and you can see I've got like a Stevie Wonder "Living for the City" record on the turntable, and I'm like completely in drag. I went back to DJing kind of like 87. There was a thing that happened in the UK called Acid House, which came from here, obviously. And again, being a Gemini, it was like the most exciting thing that was happening. Chicago House, the Detroit thing. It was like, I'm on this. I'm going to this party. And it sort of accidentally became a second career for me, But I play house music. I don't play EDM.
Okay. Now,
Break down the difference.
You made a point to say that. Why do you not?
People think it's the same thing. A lot
It's
of
not
folks.
the same thing.
Okay, break that down.
Well, house music's soulful.
Yeah.
And EDM is white people's music.
It's what?
It's white people's music. It's
Oh,
European. Okay. It's pop. It's pop. Pop
Okay.
music. It's pop music. It's like, it's, kind of, I don't know. It's just, some of it's good, but I like bass, beats. I like soulful music. I like sexy music. I don't like music that's too fast.
Do you like hip hop?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But I like old
Ah.
You like that 90s stuff.
Yeah, I like stuff like that. I like, and in fact, I've just done some kind of quite interesting kind of bootlegs using old like Audio 2.
Audio 2.
Top
That top
Oh,
billing,
top
Milk is
billing.
chilling, Giz is chilling.
What more can I say? Top billing, that's what we got. We got it good. And since you understood, would you stop scheming and looking hard? I got a great big
Bodyguard, step up if you want to get hurt.
Milk is gonna pull this skirt.
Gangsta George.
Classic moment, yo.
I was a
man.
little bit high, and we've also done Roxanne Shante. Go on, girl.
Wow.
And she mentions me in that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, she mentions me in that song. She says, while you were over there perpetrating the fraud, I was over in England in the charts with Boy George.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that was for you.
Roxanne Shante. Wow.
Roxanne Shante.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we tweet each other as well.
Do you, Roxanne? That's an
I love
iconic
her.
legend right
Yeah,
there.
I love her.
You guys, culture clubs, everybody's back together now, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Are you going to tour with them?
We're starting a tour in July in Vancouver on the 17th of July. We're here in New York on the 27th, 28th at the Beacon Theatre.
Okay.
Then we're in LA. We're all over.
All over.
For the next month. Yeah.
And the album is called Tribes?
The album's called Tribes. And I don't know when that's going to be dropped because you have to find the right time to do it. I don't just want to randomly throw it out there, because people don't buy records like they used to. You've got to make sure you let them know it's coming.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they ain't going to buy it.
Word.
So we're going to wait till I'm president or something.
Okay, that may happen. I mean, and so coming back together now, who is Culture Club now? Like, what is the sound now?
Well, the sound is I think it's kind of a more grown-up version of what we did. I'm a bit more of a bluesy singer, so, the songs reflect who I am now, and I think the songs are a bit more kind of positive in a way, joyful. They're a celebration of all the things that we grew up loving. I mean, we've really, on this record, we have literally, it's very Culture Club.
Yeah.
A lot of reggae, there's soul, there's a bit of rock as well with, the track More Than Silence is a bit more of a rocky sound. But yeah, we kind of, it's eclectic.
Okay, eclectic. Okay, we're gonna play a song, More Than Silence. Culture Club, new single. It's available, right? People could buy it.
It's available, yeah.
Okay. Boy George is here, and then we'll open up the phone lines, 888-742-3345. More Than Silence. Ooh. You heard that, Boy George? In case you need me, man.
How you gonna break it down,
he's
Sway?
not even responding to it. I don't need you, Sway. I'm good.
Not even entertaining.
More Than Silence, Culture Club. Boy George is here. That's the new single. You can find that on Hits 1 here on Sirius XM.
Yes.
But we're such big fans. We wanted to make sure we brought them by our station as well. If you want to speak with Boy George, 888-742-3345. We got John from Cali on the line. John, good morning.
Hey, John, what up?
John, Big John.
Morning.
What up?
Hey, John.
What up, man? Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I just want to say, man, thank you. And got to give it up for the Gemini in us, man. We are a struggle within ourselves.
That's what's up. All right.
Man, hey.
All right.
You talk about controversy.
Yes. All right, John.
I like it, man. I like it ever since. I grew up going to school, pinning my pants, breakdancing, comedian.
He said, comedian.
That's funny.
No, it's interesting because I grew up in, b-boy scene, and your music transcended like genres and culture. So so it really opened a lot of folks' minds up to music. And
yeah, I think the 70s was such an interesting decade because everything was going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Things are much more kind of in a box now.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the 70s, you had like glam rock, punk rock, you had hip hop, you had the breakdancing thing, you had like Michael Jackson, it was all happening at the same time. I always feel like the 70s for me was like the most fun, rock and roll decade.
Period, right? Yeah.
And then the 80s was kind of born out of that.
Then the 90s happened.
There's some good moments in the 90s.
Don't hate on the 90s.
Great for hip hop. Great, best.
You were born in the 90s, right? I mean, come on.
No, I'm not that young. No, late 80s.
Oh,
okay.
Close.
She was close. Go ahead. Now, y'all have something in common.
Yeah, because I was just reading a little bit. We've been talking about gospel, everything while the music was playing. And you mentioned, I see here that you're going to be doing a reality show.
Yeah.
With Buna Murray Productions. So I wanted to ask you two things. First, with the Supreme Court decision, I was wondering how do you feel about that, and then will we see some of your feelings and what just happened with the Supreme Court on your new reality show?
You mean, am I going to get married?
Yeah.
I mean, I put it in a nice way without getting in your business.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's amazing. The whole marriage thing. It's like, I think marriage should be about love. I don't think it should be a contract, whether you're straight or gay. I don't know why the government is getting involved in people's relationships.
Amen.
Amen. I think equality should be equality, regardless of whether you're married, single, gay, straight, whatever you are.
Whatever.
And I don't think you should come into it. But I am actually really glad that marriage is marriage now. And it's like, get over it. If you don't want to, if you're worried about gay marriage, just don't marry a man.
Okay.
It's the easiest way to
See, DB?
Just don't get involved.
Don't get involved, man. It concerns you, bro.
I just don't understand why anyone cares. It's like, I mean, in a way, it's such a conservative idea. You'd think that conservative people would love the idea that people want to be so normal and together and all of that.
Well, I just wanted to clear it up because the thing Sway is saying that we have in common is that your reality show allegedly is going to be produced by Bunim Murray Productions. Yeah. And when you came in, you asked me a question. You said we look familiar, but I did Real World. And Real World is produced by Bunim Murray. So.
It was the beginning of really reality TV, that show. It was the, you know.
Yeah, in the first one in New York, that's what people say. So thank you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you. I remember watching it. Wow.
Yeah, stop playing.
Are you in a relationship, Boy George?
Am I what?
Are you in a relationship?
No.
You single?
I'm not.
Why
I'm
not?
single. Somebody said to me, "Are you single out of choice?" And I was like, "No one's single out of choice." It's just, you know, I'm really focused on my work right now. You know, I know that's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but you know, and also as you get older, like having someone new in your life that's going to start moving your stuff around.
Look at his
It's
face.
exhausting, yeah.
I mean,
it can be.
I used to have such stamina to chase. I like to chase. I'm a chaser. I don't like eager people. If I'm in a room like there's 20 people like on my case and the one person that's not giving me attention,
you zoom
I'm
in.
like, what's this one?
You're a hunter.
Yeah.
I'm a chaser. I don't like eager people. I'm like, why do you want me? You're too eager. Go away. But I think as you get older, it gets more difficult because you think, I can't be bothered to chase around people. Do you know what I mean? So if someone falls out of the sky,
you'll catch them
and lands in the Gothic house,
and they got the right look, you know, there's a chance. But at the moment, I'm just busy.
You're just busy. Boy George is here. 888-742-3345. Tara, what up? Good morning.
What up?
Tara.
How are y'all?
Yo.
Hello.
What up, Tara?
What up? Listen, Boy George, I love you. I was on my way to the groomers to pick up my dog when I got in the car, and I heard the song playing, I'll Tumble For You. And my groomers, they are actually gay, and they are getting married this weekend. And so that song just set it off. Just crazy how I would hear that, and then your voice came on, and I was like, oh my God, he's there.
I'm like that. I'm like a bad smell. I just turn up.
Tara, he has a new single called More Than Silence. You should download it today and check it out, okay?
I plan to. I heard that. I was sitting in front of the groomers. We didn't get out to get my dog.
Okay, Tara. All right, Tara, you're a citizen.
A Sway in the
Who's
morning.
getting married? I didn't understand.
Her groomers.
Her groomers.
Oh, a groomer.
Her dog groomers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you said my grandma.
Boy George, thank you for coming by our show this morning.
Boy George is too much fun.
Yeah, I did too much fun. And I can't wait to see you perform here in New York City.
No doubt.
Guys, come.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been an absolute joy.
Fun show. They should all be like this. That was good fun.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere.
Don't
You got to take a
leave.
picture.
Okay, I gotta do this.
You're running out. You can't eat the food and just leave.
Exactly.
You got it? All right. We're gonna come back. If you got any calls or comments on today's show, 888-742-3345.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.